or holidays. So remember, if water runs through it, we do it. Mike Scott Plumbing, 237-2888.
Hi, I'm Sean Scott, owner of Mike Scott Plumbing, and I approve this message.
Each morning, we wake up thankful to live in a free nation with liberty and justice for all. But sometimes those liberties can be put in jeopardy, and you may have questions about what to do or who to call. Let Doc Blanchard of Blanchard, Miriam, Adele, and Kirkland help you find the answers. Attorneys at law since 1974 and located in downtown Ocala. If you have legal issues, don't go it alone. Call 352-732-7218. Blanchard, Miriam, Adele, and Kirkland, helping protect your liberties every day.
Get it for less at the DIY Home Center outlet. Get top quality real wood cabinets the same or less than the big box stores are selling the cheap stuff. And that's not all. Drywall screws big box stores are $6.47 a pound. At DIY, only $4.99. Plus, DIY has the largest selection of mobile home parts and accessories anywhere. From carpet to doors, get the DIY supplies you need for less. The DIY Home Center outlet. We are your building material closeout store. 2191 Northwest 10th Street, just 2 miles east of I-75.
That's right. It's In the Garden with Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin, taking your phone calls about your grass, your garden, your flower boxes, anything that you grow in dirt or water. She can help you with. Carol Ann, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you doing this morning?
Good. I have a question right out of the box before we get started.
Okay.
Real strong. Cucumbers.
Yeah.
I picked 2 cucumbers yesterday that were both of them were over 12 inches.
Okay.
You know, and they look almost like squash, but they were
Okay,
cucumbers because
okay.
they're fat on one end,
Oh,
skinny on the
okay.
other end. And they were both more yellow than green. But they were solid. They're not any
but
soft spots.
Still, yeah,
not
they
any
might
bug
have, they might
areas
have
or
been getting a
anything.
little because they were that funny, misshapen. Probably not a perfect pollination occurred, and so while you were waiting for that to fill out, like blowing up a balloon,
Right.
it probably is a little bit overripe.
So it's probably going to be
It's
bitter.
maybe a little bit bitter. Yeah.
Because it's solid, and I know
right.
it's got soft spots in it.
Right, but it's
No good. But these are both solid.
It's
And they still have the pricklies on the outside of the skin.
Sure. But it's just while we wait for that cucumber to try to fill out, it's like, it's not going to fill out because it was just imperfect pollination kind of thing going on.
Yeah, but these, at one end they filled out, but the other end
Right,
they didn't
the other,
fill out.
it's like the balloon, trying to get the balloon to fill
Right.
all the way.
Right.
Yeah, the teardrop ones, they never will be round. It's meant to be a teardrop-shaped balloon.
So I may have let them sit too
A
long.
little too long, yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Well, hey, taste one. They might not be that bad. It might not be too bad. Yeah.
And, maybe because they got a little bitterness to them, that's the ones that put in the vinegar.
There you go.
Because they still have crunch to them.
Right. If it's still got, if
You
it's,
put a little vinegar on
if
that'll
it doesn't,
cover up
right.
the bitter.
If the texture and everything is still okay and they're not horribly bitter, throw them in the pickle
vinegar.
jar.
Yeah, throw them in the pickle jar. So there you go. So how was your weekend? Good?
Yeah, it was. I worked. Well, I worked part of it. I was off one day on another day. Thank goodness I was off yesterday. I was off Sunday and had a chance to chill and relax because yesterday I had to be at work at 4 a.m.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we had to count all the plants in the garden center.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like a twice a year. We count them twice a year. They get counted a third time by
I saw Friday or Saturday that you had posted on the In the Garden page.
that I'd rather sell it than count
exactly.
it. Yeah.
Pre-inventory sale.
Yeah. I'd rather sell it than count it. And it was, we were cleaning up tables. And it's like, well, if I have to straighten this table up, I might as well get the stuff off it that needs to go to clearance now, see if I can sell it out, and then I don't have to count that.
Yeah. Because inventory is never fun.
Oh, it's not. And with plants with a perishable product, that comes in throughout the year. Some of it comes in good faith, and so there's no, it's supposed to come out in the wash at the end of the year. But you wonder, does it really?
Well, I've been in the big box stores. Yours in particular, not your store, but your company.
The company, right.
When they're in the middle of doing inventory, the entire store inventory.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And I'll be looking for, I went to find a sprayer. I told you the story. I went to find a spray bottle. And it was a conundrum for all the people doing the inventory because they kept looking at their inventory guns and they said they had 4 of them.
Right.
And they couldn't find them anywhere in the store. And then one girl goes, there is always the possibility that
they're not
they didn't
here.
get counted correctly or something.
Right. Yeah, and a lot of or right after inventory, it's like you get somebody going, but we just had inventory. They don't correct the numbers for like 2 to 3 weeks after that inventory is complete because the numbers are still being crunched. But and sometimes it is a matter of that, and it has nothing to do with plants, but good faith receiving as a whole throughout anything. It's like
is everything on that pallet that's wrapped in that shrink wrap? Yes.
Oh
okay,
yeah, it's all
thanks.
there. Yeah, there's the list. Yeah, it's all there. Okay.
Right, good.
Yeah, we admit. Yeah.
Because you can't break the pallet apart right there and count
Not
the interior.
not necessarily. Right. Or it's like, okay, this is pallet number such and such. This is what's supposed to be on it. It looks like everything.
Looks like everything.
Or
there.
we were expecting 12 pallets. Did we get 12 pallets?
Yes.
Pallet count was correct. It means that there does not need to be a further check. That's ours. At plant racks, you were scheduled for 12 racks of plants. You got 12 racks in. Okay, sign it and send it on.
So I bet that the afternoons present then quite a challenge sometimes with inventory counts because we know it's the rainy season, which means in the afternoon, anywhere from noon to 6, you could get a torrential downpour.
Luckily, we count very early. That's why I had to be to work at 4 a.m. We were actually done counting before 8 a.m.
Oh, so before the store opened.
The store opened at 6, so unfortunately it was slow enough that that early that we got it done without too much. It's whoever's there today gets to do the discrepancy counts.
It's definitely the rainy season.
It is definitely the rainy season. Yes, my yard is starting to look wet. That look where things don't pop back up right because it's just wet.
Well, the lawn guy in our neighborhood drove in yesterday, and I texted him last night and said he didn't cut the grass. He goes, I drove in yesterday, and the yards looked too wet.
Yeah. Yeah,
where and it would do more damage than good.
Right. Well, when the water, when you start to see the leaf litter and stuff up near the surface of the grass or in those swales, where out by the curb area, you can tell where that water had come up before it went down. And so, if you're seeing that kind of stuff,
and the soft ground, those lawnmowers will tear them up.
Yeah, they sink in, they tear it up. Next thing you know, everybody's running out buying sand to fill those low spots.
God, it needs to be cut.
Yeah,
it's really the dash hound is not happy.
Oh yeah.
He's not happy.
Yeah, dry him off when he comes in.
Yeah, he's not happy. Yeah. He's like, you gave me a bath on the weekend. Why do I have to get one every morning
when
I go out to the bathroom?
I get to go. Yeah.
So, but it's good for the overall
health of everything, the soil, the plants, the trees, everything that we've got. We need the rain. We need that moisture, just for the health of, even our water supply.
Now, when the weatherman says we're 4.5 inches short, but we know it's been raining. We're in our area, we're 4.5 inches short overall for the year.
Right.
We were, before the rainy season started, we were like 17 inches short.
Right. So we're catching up. Right.
But is water like sleep? Can you ever catch up on it? I mean, they say you can if you stay up 36 hours, even if you sleep 12 hours, you never
You're not actually, you didn't make that up only because the stress is upon your body.
Even though we catch up with the rain totals for the year, can we really make up because we needed to rain in February, it didn't rain in February?
Kind of we can, because we do expect most of our rain to occur within the rainy season. We expect it during that time. We don't expect as much during our drier seasons. So if we were dry, say the year before, and next thing you know, we get a tropical system and we get some extra rain, blah, blah, blah. We were down 17 inches. Now we're only down, 7?
No, 4. We're down 4.
We're down 4 now. that means we've had 13 inches of rain. We've had plus 13 inches of rain. So the trees and plants and things like that, when you cut a tree, I guess maybe that's the best way. You look, when they cut a tree down, you got the tree rings. You'll see your growth patterns. And there's your years of good rain, poor rain, drought and things like that can be measured in that. But overall, it catches up eventually within our water supply.
So it's more, really, it's catching the aquifer up.
Catching the aquifer, yes. Catching the aquifer up is basically what it is.
That's basically what it is. Because even though trees show the pattern where it was a rainy season, not a rainy season, it's really catching the aquifer
It's just,
up.
And sometimes, if we are, the annuals and perennials that we install to improve and make our landscape what we want it to look like, those will show stresses on years of not having enough rain, and then suddenly we're getting too much. Like I said, my yard is beginning to look wet. Things have grown a lot. They're beginning, really putting on a lot of growth to where maybe I may need to trim some things just to take that weight off from that growth. When we do get that lot of rain and we get that excessive growth, then when we go into a dry season, then we have the issue of fire hazard of all those vines that took off during the rainy season, and
they dry
out during the dry season, and during their dormant season can be an issue of a fire hazard actually over time.
We'll take a break. We'll come back more with Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin, plus your calls. 352-622-9622 is the number to call. 352-622-9622 is the number to call. We'll be right back after this short timeout.
Kinetics patient Robert Patterson, a veteran and business owner, struggled at work and in the gym with chronic agonizing shoulder pain.
Those injuries just continue to nag, and if you don't treat them, they just get worse. And I just kind of abused my body for a long time, and it finally had said enough is enough.
That's okay, because QC Kinetics tells your pain, hey, enough is enough. Their regenerative treatments bring you relief by helping restore and repair damaged tissue with no drugs, no downtime, and best of all, no surgery.
I was able to exceed the goals that I had previously attained in the gym. It was absolutely worth its weight in gold, so I could continue to live life without limitation.
Ready to get lasting relief from your joint pain? Call QC Kinetics to learn more about how natural biologic treatments can get you lasting results. Call now. It's a free consultation.
352-400-4550. That's 352-400-4550. QC Kinetics, 352-400-4550.
Attention passengers for Flight 1370. The plane has been delayed at its departure point and will be at least 2 hours late. We apologize for any inconvenience.
Are you serious? It took us over an hour to get here, 2 hours going through security and getting our tickets, and now we have to wait another 2 hours.
Yeah, it's beautiful here, but we're inside this overcrowded airport all day because the plane is stuck in bad weather.
This is the last time we ever do this. When we get back, we're going to Ocala Aviation and getting our pilot's license.
Yeah, we've been talking about that long enough. It's about time we did it. Then we could just fly ourselves and never have to deal with this mess again.
Right. No long lines, no full body groping security, no baggage checks.
Not to mention never losing your luggage. Remind me again why we haven't done that?
Well, we're idiots.
Oh, right.
Attention all passengers for Flight 1370. It looks like the plane is going to be delayed a little bit longer. The airline has lost the pilot's luggage. Isn't it time you got your pilot's license? Call Ocala Aviation today. 352-861-7484. That's 352-861-7484. Hey, you've earned it. Call today.
Hello, gorgeous.
Hi, this is Becky at Hello Gorgeous Salon. It's time to get that new look started. Let's get rid of those sun-damaged ends and faded out color and get into something rich and vibrant. Humidity is not your hair's friend. It causes your hair to capture moisture and leaves it looking dry and unhealthy. Hello Gorgeous is a certified Brazilian blowout salon. We can tame those locks, leaving your hair healthy and shiny with a Brazilian smoothing treatment. So let us help you make a great first impression. Call us today to set your appointment at Hello Gorgeous. Our number is 352-351-5358. Again, that's 352-351-5358. And don't forget, we also do men and children's cuts too. 351-5358. Hello Gorgeous is conveniently located in the heart of downtown Ocala. So call today and set up your appointment at Hello Gorgeous Salon at 351-5358. That's 351-5358.
Hello, gorgeous. Hello, I'm Mark Sears with Regency Printing. With over 10 years in the printing business, I know you'll find Regency Printing the place for all your local printing needs. Plus, I have fax services, mailbox rentals, notary service, U.S. mail, pack and ship, all at one convenient location, 2375 Northeast 25th Avenue. Just look for the yellow signs. Regency Printing, 789-6683. That's 789-6683. Regency Printing.
Good credits, bad credits. It's none of our business because we're not an auto dealer. We're not a bank. We're not your mother. We're OcalaForSale.com, Marion County's marketplace for cars, trucks, and SUVs. We've got thousands of sellers standing by to take your call. No middleman. But hurry, don't walk, don't run. Just sit down and log on to OcalaForSale.com. Prices and inventory change daily. Offer does not include dealer upcharge, undercutting, rust proofing, factory surcharge, or delivery fee. See website for details.
Shamrock Security Systems, 629-3223. Shamrock Security Systems is located here in Ocala, Florida. Shamrock Security Systems is a top-rated alarm company offering 24/7 monitoring, video surveillance, fire and flood protection. You'll sleep a little better once the job is done. Shamrock Security Systems for over 31 years. 629-3223. Get a 100% free quote from Shamrock Security. 629-3223.
Master Gardener, Carol Ann Baldwin, bringing advice to you. Carol Ann, I need some advice.
Yeah.
By the way, call the show, 352-622-9622. If you have any questions for Master Gardener, Carol Ann Baldwin, 352-622-9622. We were at Aldi over the weekend.
Yeah.
We bought a pineapple.
Love pineapple.
We're going to cut the top off the pineapple and then core the pineapple so we can have fresh pineapple.
Yes.
Because we bought the pineapple for $1.69.
Nice price.
And that's much better than buying a can of pineapple for $3.
Yes.
That gets you about a third or maybe even a quarter of the pineapple we bought.
Yeah.
Okay. So we bought this big pineapple. I mean, when I say big, it's probably 10, 12 inches.
Right.
And then with the top on it.
Oh, you got another.
It's another 4 inches probably.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember you said you could cut that top rind off with the tree that's on top of it.
with the top.
And you could grow it.
Yeah, put it in the ground.
All I got to do is put it in the ground.
Just put it in the ground. I don't even really, sometimes I'll let it sit on the counter for a few days. Sometimes I forget it, and I let it sit on the counter for a few weeks, and it still goes in the ground and still takes root and still grows. So, but, yeah.
The flesh that's on it. Because you don't cut all the flesh. You don't.
No,
it's just the rind part.
I usually just cut that top to where you get that smooth so that you can either, with your knife make it easier to peel it, or you've got the tool we were talking about, having a tool to core, that'll separate your pineapple from the rind, and you need that first part to be able to get in there. So I just take, I leave that little bit of rind pineapple meat on there, and I plant it.
Now, do you put the leaves in the ground too?
Just a little ways, maybe a half an inch, maybe like a leaf or two high in there, not real deep.
What about our weather getting below 30 degrees or 32 degrees?
They are cold sensitive. I'd cover it with a box.
A box?
Yeah, just use a box because there's such pokey leaves that if you try to put something else, it's gonna catch on it and that kind of stuff. So if you don't have a box, but a box is convenient because it's just like, oh look, plop, cover it up, take it off in the morning.
I know a girl. I know a woman.
She may have access to some boxes.
I know a woman that owns a shipping store. She may have a box.
She may one or two laying around there.
Have one or two
laying around there.
But I really want to give it a shot to see if
it's
I can do it.
It's fun to do, and it does take 18 months to 2 years. Once it's growing in the ground, this is July. We always say not to fertilize this time of year. Come September, give it a little bit of that citrus fertilizer that you've got from your lemon and grapefruit trees, and just throw a handful around there every couple of months. I would probably do September and then wait till spring, hit them again. and then fertilize throughout that growing season.
And when you say 18 months to 24 months till it takes well, or till I get a pineapple?
Till you get a pineapple.
That quick?
That's about approximately 2 years, 18 months to 2 years.
Wow. And now, does it produce a bush, a tree?
It's more like the pineapple is more like a bush. It's related to the bromeliad, which we think of ornamental bromeliads, air plants, all kinds of different plants, all fall in that same family. But it doesn't make a trunk per se. The fruit will come right out of the center of it, right out of the middle, right where the cup in the center is. It pops up there, and the fruit will stand above the rest of the plant. Once it makes the one pineapple, the parent plant will begin to make pups, will make smaller plants, and they may even start before it makes a fruit. And then those smaller plants will take over the years. No real reason to pull out or separate those other ones. If you've got enough room, let it be a bush. Let it, kind of like if you think about how the scrub palmettos look, the short one, the short scrub palmettos, it eventually becomes a covering. It's, and then you could have pineapples coming
almost
up.
Like what's the palm tree that sagos.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, kind of,
not as big.
Yeah, right, not as, because eventually sagos will get tall, but like the scrub palmettos, you'll see an area, well, usually like where they burn off the forest.
Yeah, they're
and
only
things
about
like
2
that.
foot, 3 foot tall.
But they just spread, they cluster out and things like that, but they don't get super tall.
Yeah, because most if people don't realize in the Deep South, on Palm Sunday you go to church and you get the palm fronds.
Right.
A lot of times those are palmettos. They're not actually palm fronds.
Well, palm and palmetto are the same thing.
But they've been blessed, so it doesn't matter.
That's all.
Doesn't matter.
No,
they're
it's
easier
just
to get to than to go all the way up at a palm tree.
Right. It's
easier. So
and palm and palmetto are really the same. It's just usually you will find the palmate versus the long, like the queen palms,
right,
and things like
that. Yeah, it is a palm. Palmetto's a palm
family.
They
are a palm family. Yes.
So then growing a pineapple like this is, except for every few months fertilizing it and keeping it watered, it's really self-sufficient. It does it on its own.
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much so. Only issue I had this year, and it only happened one time, so maybe they did find it unpalatable. Something, and I'm going to accuse a bunny, because I have bunnies. Took and if you picture the top of a pineapple, and it ate all the leaves off at one height. I had about 3 inches above the soil left of the plant, but it just ate them all off at one level. I can't imagine if I had a deer where I live. I doubt it. I've never seen one. I've never seen footprints.
But that's all they ate.
That's all they ate, and I have 5 others in that same general area.
They probably ate it.
They ate one because I'm going, how could that have been palatable? Maybe to a deer, yes.
But they only ate one of them.
They only did one, but they did eat like 6 leaves, and the leaves were gone. They weren't chewed off and left. They were gone. So maybe it gave them a tummy ache, and off they went.
They were like, never
that
mind.
plant is recovering and doing. You can't really tell now.
So I'm gonna give this.
Give that pineapple a shot.
I may even create its own Instagram page.
Document
the
growth of the pineapple. Yeah. Well, that's just kind of like Larry had the apple trees.
Yeah.
Yep,
or how he would have his banana trees that he would bring the bananas into.
Yes.
The banana tree that was beside Doug's house.
Right.
He would bring the bananas.
Oh, yeah, and they were good.
Remember, they were only that big, but
they were good.
When they ripened, they were very sweet.
Yes.
They were very sweet.
They were just an old school banana.
Yeah, it was only.
And more than likely, at one time, it may have been a named variety of banana, but as we know, when things freeze back and things like that, you start to lose hybrids.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm guessing the mat just went back, because it's you end up with a mat of root system and rhizome where the banana keeps coming back
I mean,
from.
it grew a big. There were some bunches.
Beautiful trees and great big bunches, and but you say they were maybe 6 inches long at the most, and fat.
If you fanned out your thumb and finger, it would fit in between your thumb and pinky.
But they were fat ones too.
Right.
They were short, little, fat, stubby, but they were.
I tell you what, I used them for one time is I used the bananas Larry brought in. I took like 10 or 12 of them home, put them in pudding.
Oh, there you go.
Used
Made
them
banana
pudding.
Yeah. And they were not, because I'm not a huge banana fan.
How do you not like bananas? It's the greatest fruit ever.
Because as soon as they get overripe, they're gross.
Well, no, a banana's got to be almost green for me to eat.
Well, not quite. Yeah, I've got some that it's like, okay, they're going to have to go in a bag. The trick, all right, somebody explain this to me. Some of you people who are out there with the fruit and that. I accidentally bought organic bananas. I guess we may have to finish this after the break. Okay, we're going to talk about but my bananas I bought, okay?
Because you bought organic bananas.
By accident.
I refused to do it.
I did it by accident.
We'll hear about the organic bananas after this time out. You're listening to In the Garden with Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin on WOCA 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Broadcasting from the Ocala International Airport, this is WOCA AM, W242CA FM, Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
USA Radio News with Lance Pry.
Some 40 million Americans are under heat alerts due to dangerous and intense, potentially record-breaking heat across the plains and Mississippi Valley. That's expected to continue into the southeast this week. Firefighters are already battling 89 large fires across 12 states. In Europe, the heat wave has killed more than 1,100 people in Spain and Portugal. For the first time ever, the U.S. Navy's Blue Angels Flight Squadron are adding a female jet pilot to their ranks. Lieutenant Amanda Lee will join the elite flight squadron this fall. Boosting ties with South Korea. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, after touring Seoul Science Park on Tuesday, calls out China.
We cannot allow countries like China to use their market position in key raw materials, technologies, or products to disrupt our economy or exercise unwanted geopolitical leverage.
USA Radio News.
Water. It's essential to life, but it's also something that so many of us here in America take for granted. Imagine how different your life would be without access to clean water in your home. What if you had to walk to the nearest creek, stream, lake, or pond to get water? Suddenly, going to work and school wouldn't be an option because you and your children would have to spend your days collecting water. This is the day-to-day reality of most families living in the world's poorest countries. But what if I told you that you can change that reality for just pennies a day? Through our water projects, Food for the Poor is working to meet the need for water in 17 impoverished countries. But it won't happen without you. Incredibly, it only takes $15 to provide a child access to clean water for life. $15. Decades and decades of access to water for a child. Give the life-changing gift of water now. Just text USA Radio to 91999. Text USA Radio, all one word, to 91999.
Word of the week this week is roses at Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens. Bob's place is decked out with roses like you've never seen before. Gorgeous double red knockouts, huge selection, just $24.99. What's more, Bob has a great selection of yellow knockouts, just $12.99. Everyone's favorite drift roses, Bob Wines has drift roses in coral, peach, white, sweet pink, red, and more, and they're just $22.99. Have you gotten your butterfly and hummingbird plants yet? Well, Bob Wines still has them, and they're all-time low-priced, as low as $3.99. It's crepe myrtle time, and there they are at Bob Wine's crepe myrtles in more colors than you can imagine, starting at $9.99. That's 50% off. Don't wait. Grab up your share of the summer savings today at Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens, Southeast 38th Street, Ocala, daily till 4, Saturdays till 3, keeping Ocala green and growing for more than 70 years.
Real people are getting real and lasting pain relief at QC Kinetics.
Who would have thought that I would be in better shape now than after I got out of the Marines at 22?
It's great to be active again.
I've played 36 holes multiple days in a row without pain. Everything is great.
Are you tired of living with chronic joint pain? QC Kinetics uses cutting-edge regenerative medicine to restore and repair damaged tissue. Natural healing agents from your own body, so your body can heal itself the way it was designed. With no pain pills, no steroids, no drugs, and no downtime.
It was super successful, and I recommend everyone seek out QC Kinetics as an alternative to surgery.
Thanks to QC Kinetics, quality of life is just a lot better.
Definitely changed my life.
Call now to see if regenerative medicine could be the answer you've been looking for. The local medical professionals at QC Kinetics have proven protocols that can give you lasting relief now, and the consultation is free.
Call QC Kinetics, 352-400-4550. That's 352-400-4550. 352-400-4550.
Think you know Dex Imaging? Think again. In the office, streamlining communications. In the field, delivering top-notch service, enhancing productivity and reducing downtime. In the data center, a part of the growing digital document revolution. In the world of business, supporting entrepreneurs and helping companies grow. In the forefront of technology, developing cutting-edge document management solutions. So if you think you know Dex Imaging, you don't know Dex.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean, I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, and a new spoiler, and a new trunk.
Yep, we can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too.
Well, as a matter of fact, join me, Matt Gibbs from Sunrise Automotive, every Tuesday at 10 for auto repair with personal care right here on The Source.
It's In the Garden with Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. She's here to take your calls and give you advice on anything in your yard, your flower beds, your gardens, flower pots, grass, trees, bushes. Give her a call, 352-622-9622. Again, that's 352-622-9622. I had a Facebook messenger come in that says, we hear every week about how Carol Ann can give us advice on growing this or that, but we never have heard really the backstory on what got Carol Ann so interested in plants in the first place. Can we get a little history there?
Get a little history. Well, still, I will do that. I still want to throw out to anybody out there, anybody know the paper they wrap around or whatever it is, plastic, wax paper.
Oh, yeah, let's talk about your bananas.
The bananas.
You got your organic bananas.
But accidentally, and I say accidentally, I don't go out to buy organic produce. That's not a big issue for me. But I bought them by accident, get them home, and they were very green. I've had them, and they're hanging up on my little banana hanger thing, and they're not ripening. But they also have, on that stem end, the wax paper stuff wrapped around there. And I have heard that does help protect them from ripening too quickly. But come on, man, it's been a week. Does any, and can I replicate that when I buy regular bananas so that I can wrap that up and slow them down, because it never fails. I buy a bunch of bananas and at least one ends up in the freezer every week for a smoothie. Yeah.
Well, if you know that answer, give us a call, 622-9622, 352-622-9622. Does that little wax paper stuff they wrap at the top of a banana, does that help the help it?
My understanding is it's supposed to, but
how much? How long?
Can I peel that off so my bananas will turn ripe? I'm frustrated. I can't eat a banana. So somebody wanted some backstory on it. Goes way back. Way back. As a kid, I didn't do a lot of gardening. But in high school, I was interested in horticultural classes because I went to vocational school. Unfortunately, at my school, it was not open to me. It was more for more special needs students, because as a career choice, because of vocational high school.
Right.
Our sister school, I could have gone, but at that time they weren't going to bus you over, and my parents sure weren't going to drive me, across the county to go to a different school, and have to pick me up every day. So there went that. So several years go by. I graduated. I moved to Florida. Well, moved to Florida and then GED, but a whole nother story. And when I got married, my mother-in-law had a vegetable garden. So you start to learn a little bit about the vegetable garden. It's like, wow, this is fun. I never grew vegetables up north. I mean, it was a few flowers here or there that I rescued and grew my little orange tree in a pot up there in my bedroom, but never really much of anything.
Well, it's rocky soil up there.
It was just different. I was a kid and I didn't have someone who had great interest in it to lead me.
Right.
And so when I moved here to Ocala, and my mother-in-law, she was teaching me this and that, and we, would be family weekend of cleaning up the yard and everything a couple times a year. Because we're coming into jungle season, so always in the fall you had to clean up after jungle season and trim everything back and rip the vines out and all that. And so I started to learning a lot from her, and I would go take the Master Gardener class. They would have seminars like on Mondays over at the Livestock Pavilion, and Suzanne did her show on OCA, WTMC, and would hear her put a presentation or the Master Gardeners.
Tell them who Suzanne is.
Suzanne Sheffett. Okay, for those who may not know, Suzanne Sheffett was the Master Gardener coordinator, urban horticultural agent at the Extension office for years. Before when I came on, she was my instructor when I came on board. So fantastic instructor, great.
Then she moved over to the Discovery Center.
Yes. Well, she went into education at Bellevue High School and then to Discovery Center and things like that, and has done wonderful things. Her family, big into agriculture.
Didn't she start this show here? Or a variation of this show?
Right. Yes. I actually took over for her.
Right.
When her schedule no longer was flexible, she said, hey, do you want to do this? I said, well, maybe. I mean, I would fill in for her when she'd go on vacation, but, gosh, it's been over 15 years now.
You were her Jay Leno or Joan.
I was,
Joan Rivers.
yeah. There you, I was the fill-in on the vacation times, and then took the show over. But so after a while, just visiting the Ag Center and the events going on, their plant clinics and plant sales and things like that, it was just somebody says, well, why don't you become a Master Gardener? Says, you seem to be very interested. You said, this and that. And it was like, you know what, maybe I will. And so I applied and was accepted. And at that time, all it was, and I think it's still the same, was your price of your books. And at that time, it was books. It wasn't CDs or flash drives.
Or digital,
or digital. So, I mean, I had 3 textbooks that were good 1.5 to 2 inches thick, plus a lawn handbook, and 13 weeks of classes. And
Master Gardener
Carol Ann Baldwin was born. And just the interest in offering the information back to the community is something that after a while, I joined them to learn more for myself. And as the more you learn, it's like the more I want to share it with everybody else.
Somebody texted in from Life Hacks.
Okay.
Keep bananas fresher longer, separating them and wrapping the stems in plastic wrap.
See, I hang mine up on the thing.
Which separates them. That separates
that keeps them. Yeah, keeps them from laying on, and making a brown spot.
And then you have the plastic wrap on top.
On the
of
top.
It
Okay, so I may buy some of that one. That paper that you can fold over and you can seal the edges around on it, but it's not
cling wrap.
No, the cling wrap's the one that's a pain in the neck.
Oh.
Not the other one that it's you can actually like lay your sandwich, put it and just it'll stick only to itself.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it seals only by sticking to itself.
To itself. It doesn't stick to your product in there.
Yeah,
so
maybe that works. But somebody said they looked up Life Hacks.
Okay.
From Life Hacks website.
Right.
And it says wrap the stems in plastic wrap will help
keep it
before it overripes. Keep them longer Fresh
That's,
laundry.
yeah. So I probably just need to take them off of there.
But
Or
still
take
a
one
week.
at a time. Take one off, let it ripen. I don't want to. I don't want them all to ripen at once.
Still
yeah.
a week. Though.
I know
that
it's
seems to be
crazy.
a long
That's
time.
they were green bananas.
Yeah, that
They
seems to
were
be a
green
long time.
bananas. I may have to actually go out and buy a couple bananas I can eat now.
So when you talk about buying textbooks and all and doing
Right.
a 13-week course, before there was CDs
Yeah.
or there was digital, so you've been a master gardener a while.
26 years.
26 years.
26 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So 1996.
Yep.
No. Yeah,
Yep,
1996.
96. Yeah, 96.
Yeah. The year that the Olympic Park was bombed. Good job.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wasn't me.
It will literally have been bombed 27 years ago this year.
Wow. Yeah.
Or 26 years ago this year.
year.
Yeah, July 27th at 12:45 a.m.
Oh, wow.
You know how I know that? Because for the rest of my life, this happened on your birthday.
Oh, that's right.
It will always
It'll
pop
be-
up. July 27th.
Yeah. Yeah.
This happened on your day.
On your day.
12:45 a.m. Olympic Park bombing. In what city? Atlanta, Georgia. Oh, yeah. So I got that. My home state.
Yeah,
There you
everything.
go.
Yeah.
I say my home state. I was
Right.
born in Florida.
But
It was
yeah.
Jacksonville, which is really Georgia.
Right. Right. It definitely. Yeah. It's lower Georgia. That's all.
I mean, when you think about it, just the climate differences, in what we talk about here on this show, people would have dead plants in Jacksonville if they listened to us.
And stuff, and there's things that can be grown, and it is funny, the Master Gardener program is a nationwide. Actually, it's in many countries of the world.
Right.
And it's an extension of the extension service, which helps within agriculture in the community, agriculture and foods. Food service type things and that
It's volunteers who help overall
right.
make the extension service extend even more.
Even further in and an outreach to the homeowner.
Right.
And oh wow, what was I going?
You can't
with
have
that
extension officers. You can't have enough extension officers to reach
no,
out.
to
so you
reach
get
out
Master
to
Gardener.
everybody. But yeah, and it goes
And
throughout.
it's worldwide. It's not
It
just
is
nationwide.
worldwide. It is. They've got a lot of it in the Caribbean where you have a lot of agriculture. I'm sure they have it over in the EU a lot where you've got a lot of agriculture over there. But here in there's where I was going in Florida. Unlike some other states, we're a very long state. We have several different zones in our state, several different growing climates actually within the state of Florida. We have North Florida, North Central, Central Florida, South Florida. The Panhandle is L.A., Lower Alabama. You might as well not even figure that you're still in Florida. You do actually cross a time change bridge.
You do.
Yeah, as you're going.
We're the only state on the eastern seaboard that's in two time zones.
Two time zones, exactly. And so if I were to move either north or south, I would, and wanted to continue my Master Gardener, I would actually have to go in and remediate and catch up on what growing conditions.
And the
things.
reason why that is I checked. I checked, and I want to talk about this, and just in the conversation come up.
Right.
I checked yesterday just to see. Because I knew somebody had asked. They'd asked this
Right.
question on Facebook Messenger
Right.
yesterday about your
Okay.
history. And I knew that I was going to ask this in Jacksonville this year.
Okay.
This winter in Jacksonville. In Ocala, by the way, in Ocala this year, we got below 32 degrees 3 times.
Okay.
We got below 30 degrees once.
Okay.
For an extended period of time.
Right,
The hard
right,
freeze.
right.
That happened. They got 32 or below in Jacksonville 29 times this year.
Okay.
And they got below 30 degrees 17 times.
Right.
We're only talking about 80 miles, 90 miles.
80, yeah. 80,
and
yeah.
the extreme difference, if we'd have got that many hard freezes here,
oh yeah,
lots of things die.
Right, and with ours, the only reason everybody says, oh well, my yard took such a hit, it's because we actually, though we were cool for quite a bit of the season. To me, we were
Spring,
actually
we were.
but we had in that right before we had those cold spells, we had warm weather.
Right.
For several weeks, and so the plants go, oh, it's time to grow, and they start trying to bud out this and that, and boom, the temperature fell down, and so it turned cold and did some damage.
Right. So that's what makes it so unique in Florida, because the University of Florida has extension service, and I guess now they're all like this Florida A&M, agriculture and military mechanical. Does it have an extension service, or is it part of the Florida extension service?
I know the University of Florida is probably our biggest one, but they're like the land grant universities.
Right, and A&M is a land grant university.
It should be, and I believe they probably do. I mean, when you Google something, a search for anything agriculturally, lawn and landscape, you're going to see Clemson and UF and University of Georgia, and
there is no Georgia Southern Extension Service. It's the University of Georgia.
Right? And so
ABAC,
right,
Abraham Baldwin Agricultural College, has its own extension service. People forget that Abraham Baldwin Agricultural College is a big deal in Georgia.
Right.
So,
and so, but I mean, and some of those schools are not as large as others, so you may not see some of those names up. The big names are, obviously the ones that are going to pop up first.
But the reason I bring that up is you make a valid point. What you do here in North Central Florida is different from what a master gardener would do even in Orlando, which is 85 miles away.
Right.
Because the climate changes that much.
And it can. And even getting coastally, our zones will have a dip in the middle, like a teardrop coming down, but incorporating coast over here and here, but only into the middle in this center, but not over towards the coastal areas, because you've got more coastal influence based upon the water. And same thing like around the lakes. I'm sure the weather around Lake Okeechobee is going to be a way different than the
Lake
weather.
Lake Weir, probably.
Right, and just not just the difference between, and that would be like the difference between the distance versus around the lake. That we have cold zones in Weirsdale. There's that, I think it's like a 3 mile or 7 mile stretch that gets colder than everywhere else. There's a few.
I did not know that.
Yeah, there's a couple really strange.
I know the jet stream a lot of times dips down.
Right.
And the reason our weather's so much better than Gainesville's weather is the jet stream
just takes
dips
that little
there about the prairie,
right,
a little below the prairie.
Yeah. and so they get it. They get the cold weather or the meso weather, and we're 5 degrees warmer.
Yeah, people don't realize. Just between, say, Ocala and Stark, 40 miles?
A little further than that, isn't it? Because Gainesville's 40.
Well, Gainesville's 34, but they're kind of in
opposite sides. Right.
Maybe 50 miles.
Right.
But just in that little distance. The weather in Stark and the way things grow in Stark differ dramatically than the way they grow here.
And you get over, now Palatka's a ways, but still you get over in Palatka, and I mean, you're growing a bunch of cabbage and potatoes and things like that you think of as northern crops.
Well, yeah, Hastings is the spud capital of Florida.
Right.
I mean, there's a little town over there called Spuds.
Yeah. It's a huge agricultural area, and it's based upon the climate.
And they grow a lot of potatoes.
They grow a lot of potatoes and a lot of cabbage.
A lot.
Yeah.
And where did the weed of the bane of my existence come from? That weed that's the bane of my existence. Ferns.
The floral industry.
Is that De Leon Springs? Is that the center of all ferns in the world? I mean,
it may be the fern capital. I know what Volusia County, I think, is.
They
like
say
the fern.
De Leon Springs in Volusia County.
Yeah, and I think Volusia County is like the fern capital of the world, and it's all out of the floral industry mostly.
To put
the
baby
ferns,
breasts and fern.
the ferns and different styles. But that's anybody who's new to the area, and there's less of them now. I think we had the hurricanes and the fires and things like that. Put some of those ferneries.
You can drive up down 17, 40, and 19.
And you see if you see shade cloth back there in the woods, that's done up, and that's fern farms.
You could Chipper Jones, Larry Jones, who was Atlanta Brave MVP and a Hall of Famer. He grew up in Pearson.
Okay.
And he'll tell you the thing one of the plants he hates the most is fern.
Ferns. Probably as a kid, he probably worked on one of the fern farms.
Yeah. But my grandma used to have them, but she didn't have them in pots. She
they
put
were
them
just
in the ground.
And we had some of the native sword fern at the house, and I kept it in check. It was around one tree, and I kept it in check with the mower.
Because you got to keep them in check, because they will take over.
They will take over. But I've come close to eradicating some in my yard. I just keep mowing them over. I'll rip them. I'll pull them out where I can pull it out around this one rock I really like, and I'll pull them out from there. Everywhere else, I'll just keep them.
Wait, hold on.
Yes, it's a
Did
large
you just
rock.
say around this rock I really like?
Yes, it's a very big rock. It's a big rock.
You know what most people do to big rocks? They put a chain around it, pull it out of the ground, and move it off the property.
And then somebody else buys it from their rock yard and takes it to their house. It's a big rock.
I
have a big rock.
You're the woman that likes to go to Barberville and walk around in the statue place, don't you?
Yeah. It's a cool place. And now there's one. The one that was on 441 Moontide, they closed.
Right, it closed.
I don't know if they changed hands, or just sold their inventory. It's further south on 441. It's now
it's almost
at the loop, almost to Dirt Cheap.
Okay.
Almost to Dirt Cheap. They're at the same side of the road, right before Dirt Cheap.
Right before Dirt Cheap, yeah.
So right there where you come from the loop.
And I know because you've walked around the place in Barberville.
Yeah.
But I walked around the place in Barberville because I had to see.
Yeah. You have to. It's one of those. It's
Okay. The shocking thing is not the size of the items. The shocking thing is not the different items. The shocking thing isn't that there's a 6-story rooster or anything.
Right.
The shocking thing is the price tags.
Oh yeah. They're yes. It's
Holy
a hefty.
Shnikes.
They have a hefty price. Yes.
I looked at that big the big elephant that's there. The big elephant that sits up outside. 28,000.
Yeah.
I'm like,
and the giant buffalo.
Yeah,
the buffalo but now you can scale that down if you get inside. They have like little ones.
They have little ones, yeah, but I want to know
if you want
spending
the one
$20,000+ on a buffalo.
Drive back, go west back there on 40 and you'll see the one that's got the knight on the horse, or they got a couple of like suits of armor out, and I'm sure that either
I'm sure that probably came from there.
Yeah. It's like,
But I love that place in Baldwin.
It's a neat place. It's a curiosity. That's the word I was trying to
I'm never buying
do.
anything there,
no,
but it's a cool place.
It's
to walk
a neat
around.
place. It's a
and
fun
it means
place.
I'm that much closer to the lady that sells peanuts just across the
right
red
across
light.
the way. Yeah.
Yeah, but so that's how you became the master gardener. Then
it
started once you moved to Florida.
Right. Once I moved to Florida, and taking in some of the public seminars and things like that were offered within the community, and we have them offered all over the community now. I mean, way more resources.
What do they do? Go to the extension service and just look?
You can actually, if you call, you can get on their email list, and they don't spam you. That you get like a once a quarter, maybe once a month. I'm not sure if it's that often. An email that's got a list of upcoming events, whether or not it's plant sales and things like that our extension has, maybe some outreaching ones. But you can also get, when we're at the Bellevue Library, the Dunellen Library, they do the farmers market. We do, the spring festival, fall plant sale, spring plant sale, the different libraries on top of the world talks. There's ones at a lot of the different communities that are open to the public, and so you can get on a mailing list to get that information.
And the thing I know you told me one time is that a lot of people think that only retirees that all show up to those things.
No.
When you get everything from children and their parents all the way through to retirees.
Exactly. And I mean, I understand a lot of them are daytime hours, and that it does sort of almost target, those, you would almost say those that are seniors. But there are people who homeschool, and so there's, programs that interest those. I mean, I became a master gardener. I was 31 years old.
Raising children and a full-time job.
Yeah. So it was, one of those kind of things that I was interested and went. So.
And how cost-wise is it?
It's a volunteer organization, so
but I mean,
what
your
you pay
materials
for
and everything.
was your materials. I'm not sure what materials are at this point. I think it kind of puts me back. Like we said, I had textbooks and that, and I want to say it was about $90.
Right.
For textbooks. I'm sure we're a little higher than that on the learning materials now, even though they're digital.
But a couple hundred probably.
100 and a half maybe. 13 weeks of quite intense education. I mean, it takes a while. I mean, you take it all in, you pass your test, you do your volunteer time, and during this whole time you're absorbing it. You don't absorb it overnight. You learn enough to pass your test, and then it's like you keep referring back to your learning materials. You reach out and investigate websites and things like that.
Well,
and read
you've said on
articles
this
your
show.
own.
You've said on this show that if people ask questions you don't know the answer to, you go learn and get the answers to.
I go find out. Yeah, I'll go read a label and things like that, and just find out for somebody else, and then I learn something too.
So you're always growing in this position.
Always, that's it. It is. Hey, if you're a plant, you're
growing.
You're always growing. That's it.
Caroline, how can people find you?
Find me on the In the Garden Facebook group page, and you can find me when I'm at work at Lowe's down there in Lady Lake.
This is Master Gardener Caroline Baldwin with In the Garden. She joins us every Tuesday from 9 to 10. Caroline, thanks so much for being here.
My pleasure.
See you next week.
Yep.
We'll be right back with Matt Gibbs from Sunrise Auto Repair with Personal Care with Matt Gibbs after this time out on WOCA, The Source.
Broadcasting from the Ocala International Airport, this is WOCA AM, W242CA FM, Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
USA Radio News with Lance Pry.
Former Deputy National Security Advisor Matthew Pottinger will testify in person during Thursday's made-for-TV, mostly partisan January 6 hearing. A judge in West Virginia has blocked authorities in the U.S. state from enforcing an abortion ban. A Kanawha County Circuit Court Judge, Tara Salango, granted the Women's Health Center of West Virginia a preliminary injunction against the ban on Monday. With Maryland Governor Larry Hogan term limited, the contest to replace him has drawn the attention of former President Trump. Even Oprah Winfrey is weighing in. Voters on Tuesday will choose nominees in statewide legislative and congressional races. Hogan has endorsed former Labor and Commerce Secretary Kelly Schultz. Trump has backed state legislator Dan Cox.
My campaign is to restore freedom to the free state. What's so wrong about that? Nothing. Everyone across every party line wants to have their liberty back, and I'm the only one offering that.
USA Radio News.
Camp Lejeune Justice is responsible for the content of this ad. Attention Marines, personnel of any branch of the armed forces and their families stationed at Camp Lejeune and contractors who worked at Camp Lejeune. Were you present at Camp Lejeune for 30 days or longer between August 1953 and December of 1987? For 34 years, those on Camp Lejeune were exposed to contaminated drinking water, resulting in devastating injuries, including several forms of cancer, adverse birth outcomes, Parkinson's disease, and more. Until now, the laws have prevented victims from getting justice, but passage of the Camp Lejeune Justice Act of 2022 would allow